Check in and see how you're feeling right now. You can try to see where you are on the emotional scale. Apathy, grief, fear, lust, anger, pride, courageousness, or acceptance. And just try to step out of your mind, out of all the stories we tell ourselves, and just be present with a pure emotion. And try to feel that with your heart and with your being. And as you do that, you might notice things start to soften, to lighten. Step 6 of Lester's 6 steps. Could you just be with that softening, that lightening? And could you let that go and see if you can get even higher, even better? And from this high place, check and see what's going on for you right now. And can you see that that's a thought or a collection of thoughts? And check and see if there's anything you're wanting to control or to change right now. Something you're wanting to go your way. And could you let go of the wanting? And often we can go on automatic when we're releasing. So really ask yourself the question: could you let go of wanting control? And just answer the question truthfully. No matter if you say yes or no, you might notice a release. You might feel freer, happier, lighter. And that's what we are looking for here. And check again. See if there's more of that wanting control. And remind yourself that wanting is lacking. So could you let go of lacking control? Could you just loosen your grip and open up to what's here now? And let's go deeper. See if there's any sense of lacking approval in this moment and wanting to have it. It could be wanting love. Could be wanting to love. Whatever it is for you, could you let go of that sense of lacking love? And could you open to the love that is already here? And check again. See if there's more of that wanting approval, wanting love. Could be from a partner, could be from a coworker, could be from a pet, could be wanting your own love. And could you let go of wanting love and approval? And as you do, you might get in touch with, again, the love that is already here, that is always available. Could you open up to that? Could you open up to loving your life? Could you open up to loving yourself and your fellow beings? Could you open up to being love? Could you allow that love to correct whatever needs correcting? Could you do as Lester did and square it all with love? And more, and more, and even more. And check now and see if there's any sense of being unsafe, wanting safety, wanting security, wanting survival. And often it is the wanting that makes us unsafe. So just take a look around where you are and check. Ask yourself, am I safe right now? So could you let go of wanting safety? And check and see if there's more of that wanting safety. Could be about finances, could be about politics, could be about health, could be just in general. And could you let go of wanting safety? Just the wanting. And could you let go of wanting safety even more? And check now if you're more happy, feel lighter, feel freer. The words are not so important. Just tune into that sense of having released. Mike Klein calls it the sweetness of releasing. Could you just tune into that and allow that to take you where it wants to? And now, just as an experiment, imagine with your feeling center everything being all right. Imagine success and happiness in your life. As Neville Goddard would say, could you go into that state of success, the state of happiness? And could you open to that being your life right now? And just really feel into that. Thank you. So the floor is now open for sharing and requests for assistance. And we have Bobby.
Oh, thank you for that wonderful cleanup. I love how you open up and you say, just slow down.
Yeah, we need
And
that.
then yeah. And then I check on myself on the emotional intelligence chart. It's like, oh, there's some fear, worry there. That's released
Okay, good.
some. Um, so going on a trip with my daughter this weekend, my one and only 24-year-old, and just a lot of automatic wanting approval comes up um around her. So I just maybe wanted to clean that up a little bit.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Mm-hmm.
You're most welcome. So could you just feel into that sense of wanting approval?
Yes, there's like some resistance to feeling into it. It's such a habit.
Okay. So could you welcome the resistance?
Yes.
And could you let the resistance go?
Yes.
And could you now welcome the wanting approval?
Yes.
And could you welcome the wanting to get rid of that?
Yes. Yeah.
And could you welcome the sense of the personal in all that?
Yes. Yes.
And could you now welcome what's beyond?
Yes.
And is there still wanting approval present for you?
It feels like the wanting approval is coming from wanting safety.
Okay. So could you welcome wanting safety?
Whew. Yes.
And could you let that go?
Yes.
And some more.
Yes.
And some more.
Yes.
And could you now open to being safe?
Yes.
And more.
Yes.
So what's coming up now for you, Bobby?
Wanting to control the release.
Okay. Okay. So, sounds familiar. So and everybody remember to release along. So could you let go of wanting to control your releasing?
Yes.
And could you just allow the releasing to happen by itself?
Yes.
Good. So what's coming up now for
Nothing.
you?
Quiet, like a sense of grounded, like beingness just shining on the veils through, like, yeah.
So could you send some love to yourself and to your daughter?
Oh yeah, that feels great.
And could you just open to having a fabulous time together?
Yes.
Good. So how are you feeling now?
Free. Like my inhale can just go.
Mm,
Very
good.
grateful. Thanks for holding this space. And I tried to email you about I this is about donations for your loving kindness. And I don't do PayPal. I just do Venmo and Zelle. So I emailed you a while back. If you want to email me.
What email did you use?
I
You
think I
remember?
left you I think I left you a message in your message box on your website probably. I'm not sure. It's been about a month.
Okay, that's weird.
Or
That's,
I can also put my email in the chat if you want.
can I just give you my email again and you can try again just to check if it's
Yeah,
right.
just I don't have anything to write it down with, but tell me what it is.
It's info@freeflowreleasing.com. You can use that.
Got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for coming and thanks for participating. So then we have Romy.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine. Uh, First, I would like one question, and then I would like some help with releasing.
Sure.
When you were guiding us through the intro about the emotional chart, I got that I'm at peace and I was releasing on that, but at the same time, there was an intense feeling. Could there be at the same time? I mean, the peace and the intensity of the feeling of like almost like pain, but it wasn't a pain. It's like
Definitely. They can be at the same time. And
Mhm.
in a way,
O-
the peace is always there in the background.
Okay, okay.
So it depends on what you focus on.
But what if you don't find yourself on the chart, like nothing resonates?
Uh,
What then?
I would say it's supposed to be that you're always somewhere on the
Uh-huh.
like that cap scale.
Okay.
So, but you can look if you have the charts, you can look for all the different emotions,
Mm-hmm.
find it. But even sometimes it's not so important. It's not that you have to know exactly where you are. It's more important to feel.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Mm.
And I would like to release.
Can I just say
Yeah.
one little thing?
Yes, I'm
Just
sorry.
no problem, no problem. Um, it's also when you are, because often we have feelings of cap, like you said, courageousness, acceptance, and peace, and you have some feelings of ag flap.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've seen like a musical mixer with the levels, can
Mhm.
imagine that you tune up the cap feeling and you tune down the egg flap feeling.
Oh, okay.
It means you don't suppress it. You don't suppress it. You allow it to be there, but you focus on the cap feeling.
The cap feeling.
And when
Okay.
you stay and focus on the cap feeling, the lower feelings will go by themselves.
Okay.
I just want to.
Great advice. Yeah, thank you.
Hmm.
Uh, I would like to work on when you mentioned the state of success and peace, and I would like to be in a state more like fulfillment, peace, and love. Like not needing anything, or just be okay with what is.
Mm.
And I would like to release on anything that it's in a way of me being that state all the time.
Okay. So could you welcome that sense of lacking success?
Yes.
And could you welcome any wanting to do anything with or about that?
Yes.
And could you welcome the sense of the personal in all that?
Yes.
And could you feel into any identification with not being successful?
Yes.
And could you let go of that identification?
Yes.
And could you open to having success in your life?
Yes.
And when you do that, what comes up for you?
There's some fear present.
Okay.
And again, that intensity of a feeling in my chest.
So could you allow that intensity of fear to be there?
Yes.
And check and see what the fear is wanting.
Wanting security.
Okay. So could you let go of wanting security?
Yes.
And could you open to having security?
Yes.
And more.
Yes.
So what's present for you now?
The intensity in my chest has gone away.
Okay.
But there's still something in my stomach. The fear is no more present, but it's some sensation there.
So could you be courageous about that sensation?
Yes.
And could you just let it go?
Yes.
And could you again open up more to having success?
No, there's some resistance there.
Okay. So could you feel into the resistance?
Yes.
And could you let the resistance go?
Yes.
And how does it feel now?
It's going away.
Okay.
But there's still some like I'm holding on to it.
Okay. So
Like it's not safe to totally release on it. It's again the safety. Yeah.
okay. So could you allow the wanting safety to soften and release?
Yes.
And when you think about having success in your life now, what comes up?
Pain.
What?
Pain.
Okay. So could you feel into that pain? Just allow it to be.
Yes.
And could you welcome the sense that the pain is personal?
Yes.
And could you welcome any wanting to do anything with or about the pain?
Yes.
And is the pain wanting anything?
Wanting security and separation.
Which one is strongest?
Separation.
So could you let go of wanting separation?
Yes.
And could you let go of wanting security?
Yes.
And what's there now?
Peace.
Good. So, from that peaceful place, could you welcome success?
Yes.
And can you get in touch with having success in your life?
Yes.
Could you allow that to expand?
Yes.
Could you allow yourself to have more success?
Yes.
and more.
Yes.
And even more.
Yes.
And how are you feeling now?
There's joy present, excitement, like, yeah, it feels tangible. So yeah, thank you very much.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Thank you.
Good releasing. So then we have Lisa.
Hi there.
Hi.
Hi, Kristen.
Hi.
Thank you for having the meeting.
Hmm.
Really appreciate it. I don't know. I've had so much going on. It didn't work out with the birthday thing, the
Okay.
trip. I'm just feeling very limited. Like I should be cognizant of my funds.
Okay.
FUNDS. And it's like anything. If you get discouraged enough, you're not going to do it. I mean, I guess I was talked out of it, and then this so-called friend of mine is just kind of messing me about. So it's a little discouraging. And then they keep saying, well, whatever you want to do, and then they stick in what they want to do. It's like it's a mind thing, like I'll say, okay, let's meet on Friday. I'll just give you an example. Why don't you come in on Friday? Then it's, oh, what about Thursday? And then, okay. And then they talk about something else. So I figured I gave up because I couldn't take, I call it gaslighting. I couldn't take this bizarre sense of responses. So I kind of wrote it off. And then they called me a few times and I didn't pick up the phone. And then finally I returned the call and I was like, okay, so what's it going to be? And then they talk about some other subject and I'm like, okay. And then it's just a mountain of frustration. Like,
Okay.
I'll just do, in my head, I said, just do what you want to do and forget about everybody else. And then I make that decision and then all this other nonsense comes up and I don't have the strength to just go on it with the back and forth nonsense. I don't know what that is. I
Okay.
think I want to just control everything.
Okay. Okay.
Sorry if it's complicated.
No, no, no.
That's my mind.
Hmm. So that sense of not having control,
Right.
could you let that go?
Yes.
And could you let go of that even more?
Yes.
And even more.
Yes.
So what's there now?
Wanting approval.
So could you let go of wanting approval?
Yes.
Could you let that go even more?
Yes.
And could you give yourself some approval?
Yes.
And could you give all the persons involved some approval?
That's a struggle because I'm actually disapproving of
Okay, okay,
not just this person, but other situations and what's going
okay. So could you let that disapproval go?
Yes.
And could you let that disapproval go even more?
Yes.
And more?
Yes.
And even more?
Yes.
And could you just love them and have your way? Could you open to that?
The idea is funny. Right. Let go and let them have it your way. Is that it?
Could you
Larry's thing?
love them and have your way?
I guess I'll just have to let go of wanting to control or change them.
Okay, okay.
I'm not feeling a lot of love right now.
No problem.
I'm just being honest with you. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
It's hard to force myself to love people that are,
No, 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 of course not. Of course not.
So I think I'm just going to let go of wanting to change because it's causing me stress.
So could you let go of wanting to change?
Yes.
And could you let that go even more?
Yes.
And even more?
Yes.
Now, what's there now?
Actually, some approval is peeking through for no reason at all.
Okay.
I mean, they haven't changed anything. I haven't changed except that I've let go of some bad feelings, I guess.
Hmm.
What is, yeah, I know now I'm remembering what one of the other people, allow, just let, which means let go of wanting to control. And I know it's wanting approval. It's like, I don't feel in some, not 100%, but in about 80% of my the interactions, I feel like they're not successful. Like I'm not being either taken seriously. I feel like I have to raise my voice, stomp my feet, and be like, louder because the first time around in a calm way is not seeming to get through to people. It's as though what I'm saying is being ignored. Or they're not capable, they don't care. I mean, I don't know what the reasoning is.
Hmm.
It's like and it's not just that situation, so many others that lately I found myself in. So it's this, okay, a feeling of wanting to get answers or an action. It's like, I think they trained us in my last job. It's like a call to action and the action isn't being taken. And it's frustrating. And I'm not asking them something impossible to do. Some of it is within, even if it's a job, it's within their realm of job responsibilities. So there's a frustration there that for some reason or it takes a lot of work. I mean, I've had some successes, but it's taken way more effort than I feel like other people. I feel like I'm just so frustrating.
So that sense of not getting taken seriously,
Right.
could you let that go?
Yeah, the ego doesn't like that. I'm important. You need to listen to me. That's wanting approval.
So could you let go of wanting approval?
Yes,
And could you let that go even more?
yes,
And could you give yourself lots of love and approval for being Lisa?
yeah, some sadness comes up. Feeling not good enough or just frustration. Wanting approval.
So could you let that want for approval go?
Yes.
And
And
could
just a feeling of being taken advantage of. Like if I'm calm and I'm straightforward and I express myself, I just feel like I get taken advantage of. Like inside of me, at least with wisdom and with age, I know what's up. And I try to pay attention to that. Whereas when I was younger, I would just be like, oh yeah, they're really mistreating me. But I'll be like, oh, I guess I have to put up with this. Or, you know, I'm not being taken seriously. Or I'm not like, now I pay attention to the red flags and I note it. But before was sort of giving everybody the benefit of the doubt, like, oh, okay, well, they're just that way. So I don't know how to resolve it.
So could you welcome that sense of not being taken seriously?
The feelings of it.
Yeah.
Feelings of not. Yeah, it's kind of painful.
And could you welcome any wanting it to go away?
Yes.
And could you welcome the sense of the personal?
Yes. Yes.
And can you find any places in your life where you feel you are taken seriously?
Yeah. Yeah. There's a few.
Yeah.
I usually get it through a job, when I'm working and stuff like that, which I'm not really working. So I get a little bit of satisfaction there, like people actually give me feedback, and it's like sometimes more surprising than I think.
So could you open to being taken more seriously?
Yes.
And could you open to feeling good enough?
Yes.
And could you give yourself lots of love and approval for being just as you are?
Yes.
And more?
Yes.
And even more.
Yes.
And could you open to the future being different than the past.
Yes.
And what's there now?
Yeah, there's a feeling like I want to be heard, but I don't want to get it to the point where I have to raise my voice and just look like a fool and be emotional. Because that has been not all the time, but it's something that, you know, I see that it's not really that effective. And I just don't want to look like a maniac. So it's hard to get that balance of, you know, being taken seriously in a way that's in a calm way. I don't know how that comes off. Because I'm a funny person in general. I really am. But it's like when I need something, it's like I need it. And I just, you know, I see, maybe, I don't want to say, you know, men, women, whatever, but I do see sometimes men, they walk in and they get everything that I said, oh, that's something I had to fight for. I had to say. And I'm not trying to say, oh, I'm a victim, I'm this. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that there's an expectation, and then there's a path for us. Sometimes other, I want to call them characters in the movie. Like, it just feels like, why do I have to? And then there are times when I walk in and it's smooth as silk and I am treated like the queen that I deserve to be treated like. So, you know, and then I'm like, why is this situation? Like, did they want something from me? But it's like an assumed, oh, she's here, you know, like, you know, I gotta be in check. So I like that, you know, without saying a word, without saying, you know, just, or just being myself. But there are situations that are just like, really, do I have to, you know, raise my voice? Do I have to fight these people's preconceived notions? It's like, I don't know. I end up, you know, it's good, just walk away. But
So,
I don't know. It's just that decision that you say, that doesn't feel right. I need to move on. I like that to be less dramatic. I don't know how to say it, or just not to engage, and then just, you know, kind of like really have that trust in your own, I'll say intuition. It's not just feeling, you know, like there's something off. I don't know if I'm making any sense. I'm sorry.
what's the wanting?
Wanting control.
So, could you let go of wanting control?
Yes. And wanting approval.
So, could you let go of wanting approval?
Yes. And wanting to survive, wanting safety.
So, could you let go of wanting safety?
Yes.
And what's there now?
Some wanting control.
So, could you let the wanting control go?
Yes. Yes.
And what's there now?
Wanting approval.
So could you let the wanting approval go?
Yeah, yeah.
And just really try to notice the release. And notice if you feel
Yeah.
just a little bit freer, lighter.
Yeah, less tension, right? Less tension in my body.
So could you let more tension go?
Yeah.
And more.
Yes.
And even more.
Yes.
And even more.
Yes.
And what's there now for you?
Something from a family member. There was frustration about something.
What?
Frustration with past, like my mom would say when we were little, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. And then she always got mad because I remembered what she said she was gonna do, and then she didn't. She did some stuff, but then I'd be like, well, what about this and that? Well, why are you holding me to, like, she would get mad because I was like, don't say you're gonna do something and don't do it. Like it was this, it kind of got ingrained in me and it was kind of hurtful. She did a lot. It's just that, the over promising thing bothered me. I want it now as an adult, I just feel wanting control. Like I wanted to change that about her.
So could you go wanting to change that about her?
Yes.
And could you just allow the past to be the past?
Yeah.
And could you open to new times?
Open to new what?
New times. Different times.
New experiences.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And more.
Mm-hmm.
And what's there now?
Well, I feel like this so-called friend is doing a lot of that same kind of behavior. Not exactly, but in the same vein. So it feels familiar. Wanting to change it.
So could you let that wanting to change go?
Yes.
And more.
Yes.
And even more.
Yes.
And what's there now?
It feels a bit lighter. Feels like I kind of dropped a few pounds there.
Mm.
Yeah, I didn't realize how much that kind of weighed me down.
So feel into that sense of lightness. And could you
Yeah,
allow things to get even lighter?
yes,
And even lighter.
yeah.
And how are you feeling now?
A lot lighter.
Good.
I'm gonna let it go.
Great.
Oh, thank you, Christian. That really was very extremely helpful.
Okay. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thanks for participating. And then we have Rosa. Hello.
Hi, Christian.
Hi. How are you?
I'm feeling lighter with listening to the releasing and releasing along as well, wanting to control things. So yeah. And what I'm dealing with right now is my son and I decided to move. I already gave my 30-day notice. And now we have to find a place. So I'm kind of a little nervous about finding the right place. And yeah, so that's where I'm at. Like I want things to be easy, smooth, and finding the right place for both of us.
Okay. So is that wanting approval, wanting control, or wanting safety?
Wanting safety.
So could you let the wanting safety go?
Yes.
And some more.
Yes.
And what's there now?
Very quiet.
Wow. That was quick.
Yeah.
So could you open up to finding the perfect place?
Yes.
And could you allow that to be easy?
Yes.
And could you just allow beingness to help you with this?
Yes. That's the best part.
So how are you feeling now?
Yeah, it feels brighter, lighter and brighter. Lighter and brighter.
Okay.
I'm sitting next to a window and the light just got brighter all of a sudden.
Wow.
So yeah. And I also want to share again that my son has been more and more loving in many ways. And a long time ago, I was boiling water to make some tea and I forgot all about it, left the pan on and went to work. When I came back, the pot was completely burned. So my son saw me going through this and he went and got me an electric teapot. That
Okay.
way I didn't have to turn on the gas or burn it. And
Ah,
it just off automatically. I had it for like 1 whole year and I was so happy with it. But all of a sudden it broke. And just last night, he got me another one. Without me asking, without me saying anything, he just on his own, he got me another one. It's right there in the box and it's brand new. It's like, oh my gosh, that's so loving. That's so so that's very I
congratulations.
feel, yeah. It's like he's taking care of me.
Okay. Nice.
And I would love to be able to do the same thing for him, like be that as much as loving as he is. Like mutual love.
Mm.
So there's a thought that there's a belief, a thought that yeah, that I'm not doing enough for him.
So could you let that belief go?
Yes.
And could you open to the love that you have for him?
Yes.
And could you love him even more?
Yes.
And how are you feeling now?
Yeah, more quiet.
So are you feeling complete and more complete?
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
A little grief came up from all this, but it's good. I'm good. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for releasing with me. So I can tell a little story. I don't know, I can't explain it as good as my friend who experienced it, but I don't remember the exact details, but it was some weird coincidence, some happening. He suddenly found out that he was getting thrown out of his apartment.
Mm.
And it was very, he learned this, I think, on the same day or the day before or something. He was getting thrown out. And it was a very desperate situation.
Mm.
But he's a releaser. So he released as much as he could do about it. And then he was invited to a dinner to some friends, and he had decided, okay, there's nothing I can do. So I might as well accept the invitation. And then he went to the dinner, and it was a collective, many people living together.
Mm.
And he told them the story that he was getting thrown out.
Mm.
And this was good friends of him. And then they said, oh, but we have a spare room.
Wow.
Then the same day he got a new place. So everything sorted itself out perfectly.
Mm. So beautiful. That's Venus. I love that's what when you said, can you allow Venus to take care of it? Is yeah, that's my favorite part.
And we all have seen, I mean, probably we all have seen like the power of releasing and
Yeah.
it's being possible. So they're possible everywhere.
Yeah. So beautiful. Thank you for having this call and thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. So, and then we have Francis. Hello.
Yes. Hello.
Hello.
I
Hello.
missed I missed a lot. I had to take a phone call.
Okay.
But yeah, so I'm glad for as much of it as I've heard.
Hmm.
For me, this feels like
Oh, she fell out. Maybe we'll just wait and see if she comes back. In the meanwhile, if anybody else wants some assistance or want to share anything, just press the raise hand button, which is in the bottom of the screen, either as a separate icon or under reactions or more. Okay, there we go.
for some reason I got kicked off.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Okay, well, this is about money, and
Okay.
I've got so much shame about money that I was hoping maybe I could ask you to turn off the recording.
Oh, sure, of course.
Okay.
No problem, no problem. So, I'm not sure if there's anyone here that's not a member of the Facebook group, but I'll put the link in the chat. Anybody wants to join. And we'd also like to mention that there's a special on coaching right now. So there's a 45 to 60-minute session, costs $50. And if anybody's interested, you can write to info@freeflowreleasing.com. It's in the chat. And nobody else has anything they want to share or get assistance with? You can go on to the closing cleanup.
I did have a gain, if that's, why
Sure.
not, right? We need some motivation to
Yeah.
keep going. Like, I called about, in the midst of my feeling sorry for myself, whatever. I called about, I don't know, something with the billing with my health insurance, right? So it was highly subsidized because of my financial situation. And then all of a sudden it went up hundreds of dollars. So
Okay.
I didn't want to pay attention. I put it away. I got around to attending to it, made a phone call, and the guy, I just loved his energy. We didn't finish the call, but he was starting an application. He said, "What are you worried about all those large premiums? He's like, you might even like qualify and get like free healthcare." And I'm like, "Oh, please." And he's like, No, I'm serious. Why are you stressing over that when, and I said, well, that's a good point. So we kept going and then I had to call back again because I got interrupted. I called back and then I got this huge tax credit, whatever. And I'll get literally, free healthcare for as long as I'm whatever, not
Oh,
not making a lot of money, like with not a work. So I'm not even intent on healthcare. I don't like to go to the doctors. It's after releasing. I think Larry's just sort of attitude trickled down. But, if I need it, it would be nice to have it. So anyway, it was a nice gain and it's a few $100s a month. So that's kind of nice.
nice.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good gain.
Mm,
Not something I expected either.
mm. Good.
Thanks for letting me share
Thanks
that.
for all the things. Thanks for sharing. So check and see if there's anything that happened on the call or anything else that you're wanting to change or control right now. And could you let go of wanting control? And check and see if there's more wanting control. And could you let that go? And check and see if there's any wanting approval about anything that happened on the call or otherwise. And could you let go of wanting approval? And check and see if there's more wanting approval present. And could you let go of wanting approval and instead make a decision to be a giver of approval? Could you decide to, instead of wanting love, could you decide just to love? And check and see if there's any wanting safety present. Could you let go of that sense of lacking safety? And check and see if it's more of that. Wanting safety. And could you let go of wanting safety? And could you just open to the goodness that is right here, right now? Thank you.
Thank you, Kristen.